So Antonio Conte would be my number one choice for the Manchester United head coach role going into next season, with Nagelsmann and Zerbi making up my top three. At the moment, I'd probably say Zerbi edges Julian Nagelsmann for me, but that could change over the rest of the season, depending on how the tactical meta of the game evolves. However, I am in the process of analysing other options such as Iraola, Marco Silva, Hurzeler, Sebastian Hoeness, Glasner, Cesc Fabregas and Francesco Farioli in further detail, preparing for follow-up videos, so that top three may change within the next couple of weeks. Let me know which of those coaches you do want to see analysis videos on most. Give the video a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the rest of the series. Now there is the issue that we would need an interim most likely for all of these three options, but I'll cover that in a separate video. But this leads me on to three questions I'm going to be answering in this video. Firstly, what are my 5 main requirements for the next permanent Manchester United head coach? Secondly, why are Conte, Zerbi and Nagelsmann my top 3 currently? And thirdly, what specifically about their records show that they fit these requirements to a sufficiently high standard? Well, before I get into that, if you want to check out any cheap, good quality football jerseys, go over to okjersey.com. They've got the new Manchester United releases for the upcoming season, with OK Jersey also allowing you to pick up high quality football shirts from just £15, plus free shipping across Europe for all orders over £45. They sent me over these new release alternative Manchester United jerseys from this season, as well as a long sleeved retro home shirt from the 92-93 season, with Cantona 7 on the back, alongside this Nuno Gomez Benfica shirt from the 97-98 season as well. If you use code ALANTIS at checkout you'll get a discount, so I'll leave it linked in the description and in the comments section below. So starting off with the first question, these would be my requirements for the next permanent head coach. Firstly, they need to be tactically flexible, not just between systems and styles of play, game to game, but also in-game as well. Secondly, they need elite level player profiling, not just when it comes to selecting a system that best suits the current squad, but also tailoring roles within that system to specific players based on their best attributes and also what their limitations are. Thirdly, they need creative thinking in terms of being able to find solutions to any tactical problems which are presented within that system, as well as being able to identify what players have the skill sets to potentially be converted into playing different roles or even different positions that can then improve their overall performance level or provide a tactical solution to a specific problem without having to go into the transfer market. Number 4, they also need a high level of tactical understanding to allow them to constantly adapt to the changing tactical meta over the next few seasons, avoiding the sort of tactical decline that we've seen from the likes of Ruben Amorim and Erik ten Hag in recent seasons. And finally, they need to be capable of implementing their choice of system and style without needing additional signings to improve the team, and being able to do so effectively over a short period of time in order to have success almost immediately. Those are my 5 main requirements. Ideally, I would like a coach that is enthusiastic about bringing young players from the youth team into the first team setup and actually being willing to give them a significant amount of game time. However, right now the priority has to be results. But also, if United can improve their loan strategy for young players, even with a less youth-friendly head coach, we should still be able to effectively develop our youth prospects, so it's not a deal breaker. But now moving on to the second question, in terms of Conte, Zerbi and Nagelsmann, I think all 3 check off each of those 5 main requirements. Both Conte and Nagelsmann have shown over the last decade that they aren't just tactically adaptable between systems and even styles of play, but they are also willing to experiment and make changes early, as soon as they see issues occurring that need to be solved, with Conte's switch from the back 5 systems that he had success with at Tottenham and Inter Milan to a 4-5-1 at Napoli last season, as well as his switch from a 4-3-3 to a 5-3-2 after just 6 games during the 16-17 title-winning campaign at Chelsea, being 2 perfect examples, whilst Nagelsmann throughout his career at Hoffenheim, RB Leipzig and Bayern Munich has routinely switched between back 5 and back 4 systems. Now Zerbi isn't as tactically flexible between a 4 and a 5 at the back, but we do see him constantly evolving his possession system, while still centering it around his highly effective possession strategy. Although saying this, he is also willing to use a back 5 defensive shape when needed, instructing one of the wide attackers to track a runner down the channel into deeper areas, which is a similar defensive tactic to what we have seen Arteta do with Saka on occasion. Adding on to this, all three of Conte, Nagelsmann and Zerbi have shown that they can implement an effective system within a short period of time with a far from perfect squad without needing significant signings. Conte did this at Tottenham in 21-22, taking over at the start of November, averaging 2 points per game for the rest of the season, eventually finishing third behind only Liverpool and City from when he took over, taking a Tottenham side that had players like Emerson, Ben Davies and Eric Dyer, and on from what he did at Chelsea in 16-17, going from 10th to 1st the next season, as well as previously at Juventus in 11-12, going from 7th to 1st. Zerbi took over from Graham Potter midway through September 2022 and was not only able to successfully implement a radically new and advanced possession style, with centre-backs who were at best average level ball players such as Lewis Dunk and Adam Webster almost instantaneously, but the output he was able to produce in such a short period of time was truly incredible, considering the comparative quality level that he had in the squad, finishing 6th with 62 points after Brighton had finished 9th with 51 points the season before. But his underlying XG metrics were even more impressive, finishing top of the league for non-penalty XG from when he took over till the end of the season, 5th for non-penalty XG against, as well as 3rd for expected points. He followed this up last season by taking Marseille from 8th the previous season to 2nd ahead of Monaco, behind only PSG. Nagelsmann in 1920 was able to keep Leipzig as the 3rd best side in Germany, behind Bayern Munich and Dortmund, for both points and underlying XG numbers in the 1920 season, gradually closing the gap, and the season after he built on that success, finishing 2nd overall, 3rd for XG, and top ahead of Bayern Munich by a considerable margin for XG against. But what he did at Hoffenheim after taking over in February 2016 was even more impressive, taking them from 15th at the end of the 15-16 season to 4th and Champions League qualification the next season in 16-17. However, with Conte alongside his consistent record of winning domestic titles within a short period of time in the Premier League and in Italy with Inter and Juve, his ability to play a profile is one of the main reasons as for why he's my number one target, as he has the ability to take either fairly good players such as Brozovic, Azpilicueta, Candreva, or Rodrigo Bentancur, just to name a few, all to their positional roles that they are used in and develop them to the next level, enabling them to become key first team players, whilst also going one step further and taking players like Marcos Alonso, Victor Moses, Emerson, Eric Dyer, Giaccherini, Lukaku and David Luiz, who prior to working with Conte had either been considered not good enough, in a decline, or even having significant weaknesses within their skill sets that could be considered liabilities in the position they were playing in at the highest level, and adapting the roles that they were used in, or outright converting them to different positions, to dramatically improve their performance. To go any further, I have recently uploaded 22 metric circle charts for 10 different central midfielders onto my Patreon. You can get a 7-day free trial, and if you sign up to the tier above, you can also get access to the Instagram group chat, as well as to some more circle charts and plot graphs as well. So I'll leave it linked in the eye above, description, comment section, and on the end screen after the video. So in terms of player profiling, I don't think we've seen it as significantly with individual players with Nagelsmann and Zerbi as we have with Conte, but without doubt both coaches have significantly improved the performance level of individual players during their reigns at multiple different clubs. Now Zerbi specifically has showcased his creative tactical thinking by not just successfully implementing a radically different and almost contradictory possession style to what the tactical meta was at the time, but also by being pretty much the sole catalyst for the shifting of the tactical meta around the start of 2023, influencing even Pep Guardiola. Now of course, this doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be at the forefront of the next tactical evolution in the game, but it shows his creativity and ability to think outside of the box in order to find solutions, suggesting that he should be amongst the game's leading tacticians once again when the tactical meta shifts inevitably within the next 6 to 18 months. Nagelsmann has consistently evolved throughout his career, building on his initial gegenpressing influence, stemming from the likes of Ralf Rangnick and Jurgen Klopp, and is now sitting amongst the best tacticians in the world, which may not see him regarded as a leading revolutionary tactician in the game such as Zerbi or Guardiola, but I do think he's a sure bet to be amongst the leading tacticians in the game over at least the next 4 or 5 years. And so I think that all 3 of these coaches tick off my 5 main requirements quite comfortably. And in follow-up episodes in this series, which I will compile into one playlist, when I analyse how each of these managers would set up the current United squad as well as with 2 or 3 key signings, you'll get a greater understanding as to why I rate these 3 so highly. So let me know what you think of my analysis and who would be your top target for Manchester United in the summer, as well as to replace Ruben Amorim right now. And if you do want to check out any cheap, good quality football jerseys, go over to okjersey.com. You can use code ATLANTAS at checkout for a discount. I'll leave it linked in the description and in the comment section below. And if you do want to sign up to my Patreon, I'll leave it linked on the end screen now as well.